Ever wondered why some people thrive in a bustling crowd while others prefer the quiet solitude of their own company? It's all about being an introvert or extrovert. Now, you might have heard these terms tossed around, but what do they really mean? Well, introversion and extroversion are personality traits that indicate where you get your energy from. Extroverts are often seen as outgoing, sociable, and energized by being around others. They're like solar panels, soaking up energy from the people around them. On the other hand, introverts are often seen as reserved, reflective, and they recharge by spending time alone. Picture them as rechargeable batteries, needing some alone time to power up. But here's the catch. It's not as black and white as it seems. Imagine introversion and extroversion on a spectrum, a sliding scale, if you will. On one end you have extreme introverts, and on the other, extreme extroverts. But most of us fall somewhere in between, a grey area known as ambiverts, showing traits of both introversion and extroversion, depending on the situation. Think of it like your favorite ice cream flavor. Just because you love chocolate doesn't mean you hate vanilla, right? You might enjoy both, but perhaps you just prefer one over the other. That's exactly how it works with introversion and extroversion. Also, remember, neither of these traits is better or worse than the other. They're just different ways people interact with the world. So, whether you're an introvert who loves curling up with a good book, an extrovert who thrives in the heart of a vibrant party, or an ambivert who can swing either way, it's all perfectly normal. Now that you understand the basics, let's dive into the differences between the two. Introverts and extroverts differ in where they draw their energy from. It's not just about being outgoing or shy, it's about what rejuvenates you. For introverts, energy comes from within. Their batteries recharge through solitude, quiet moments, and personal reflection. Their energy can quickly be depleted during social encounters, making them seek alone time to recuperate. On the other hand, extroverts thrive on external stimuli. They gather their energy from the world around them. Interaction with others, lively discussions, and social activities are their power sources. They can feel drained after spending too much time alone and find social gatherings invigorating. But remember, introversion and extroversion lie on a spectrum. Some people might fall right in the middle. These individuals are known as ambiverts. They fluctuate between seeking the quiet and craving the noise. So, the next time you see someone enjoying their solitude, remember, they might be recharging their batteries. Ever noticed how some people can effortlessly mingle at a party while others stick to the corners? This is often a clear distinction between extroverts and introverts. Extroverts tend to thrive in bustling social settings. They enjoy larger gatherings, meeting new people, and engaging in a wide variety of conversations. They're often the life of the party, drawing energy from those around them. On the other hand, introverts typically prefer smaller, more intimate gatherings. They value deep, meaningful conversations over small talk. Instead of bouncing around the room, they might find one or two people to connect with on a deeper level. This doesn't mean they're antisocial, quite the contrary. They simply recharge in quieter environments and prefer quality over quantity when it comes to social interactions. Remember, there's no right or wrong here. Both introverts and extroverts can be social butterflies, but in their own unique ways. How we process information can also be a telltale sign of our introverted or extroverted tendencies. Introverts are often seen as thoughtful and reflective. They tend to think before they speak, taking the time to process information internally. It's like they have an internal dialogue running, weighing the pros and cons, evaluating the information before sharing their thoughts. On the flip side, extroverts tend to think out loud. They enjoy bouncing ideas off others and thrive in group brainstorming sessions. Their energy is ignited by the dynamic exchange of thoughts and ideas. It's as if their thought process is a team sport, where the interaction and engagement of others fuels their creativity and decision-making. However, it's important to note that this isn't a rigid rule. Some introverts might find group brainstorming energizing, and some extroverts might need time to reflect quietly. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to process information, just different ways. Risk-taking is another area where introverts and extroverts differ. Extroverts, with their outgoing and enthusiastic nature, are generally more open to taking risks and seeking novelty. They thrive on the thrill of the unknown, the excitement of what could be, and the satisfaction of conquering new frontiers. This isn't just about physical risks either, but also emotional and intellectual ones. Extroverts are often the first to raise their hand, to voice an unconventional idea, or to dive headfirst into a new project. On the other hand, introverts tend to be more cautious and thoughtful in their approach. They value careful planning and deliberation, preferring to weigh all possible outcomes before taking a leap. And while they may not be the first to jump, when they do, they've calculated all the angles. This careful consideration can often lead to more sustainable and thoughtful solutions. Whether you're an adrenaline junkie or a careful planner, both approaches have their merits. Even though we've discussed these differences, it's important to remember that no one is purely an introvert or extrovert. Indeed, the world isn't simply black and white, and neither is our personality. We all sit somewhere along the spectrum, a vibrant gradient of introversion and extroversion. You may have heard the term ambivert tossed around in conversations. Ambiverts are individuals who embody characteristics of both introverts and extroverts. They enjoy socializing and being in the spotlight, but also crave alone time to recharge. They are adaptable, able to adjust their approach depending on the situation or the people around them. But it's not just about ambiverts. Each one of us possesses traits of both introversion and extroversion. You might be an introvert who loves public speaking, or an extrovert who enjoys quiet nights in with a good book. It's not a contradiction, it's simply your unique balance. Personality isn't a rigid, unchanging entity. It can shift and evolve over time, influenced by experiences, environment, and personal growth. It's not a box that confines you, but a broad canvas that highlights your distinctive blend of traits and tendencies. It's also not a competition. There's no better or worse when it comes to being an introvert or an extrovert. Each has its own strengths and challenges. What matters is understanding your own preferences, respecting them, and harnessing them to your advantage. In a world that often demands us to fit into predefined molds, it's vital to remember that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be you. Embrace your introverted qualities. Celebrate your extroverted characteristics. Recognize the value in both and strive to find your equilibrium. So whether you're an introvert, extrovert, or somewhere in between, embrace your unique traits and remember, it's all about balance. So, what did we learn today? We've unraveled the fascinating world of introverts and extroverts. Diving deep into the 10 significant differences that set these two personality types apart, we've come to understand that introverts and extroverts are not polar opposites, but rather exist on a broad spectrum. We've seen how their energy sources differ. Introverts recharge their batteries in solitude, finding comfort in their own company, while extroverts thrive on social interactions, drawing energy from the people and activities around them. In the realm of social interactions, we've noted how introverts prefer meaningful, one-on-one interactions, savoring the depth of personal relationships. Extroverts, on the other hand, enjoy a wide circle of friends and acquaintances, reveling in the breadth of their social network. We've also discussed how they process information differently. Introverts tend to delve deep into thought, reflecting before they act or speak. Extroverts, in contrast, think out loud, using conversation and interaction to formulate their thoughts. Risk-taking has also been a point of interest, with introverts generally being more cautious and thoughtful in their approach, while extroverts are typically more spontaneous and open to taking risks. And finally, we've explored the balance that exists within the introvert-extrovert spectrum. We've emphasized that everyone has a unique blend of both introverted and extroverted traits, and it's this balance that makes us who we are. But let's not forget, these differences are not about labeling or categorizing people, but about understanding and appreciating the diversity of human personalities. It's about recognizing our own strengths and weaknesses, our preferences, and the ways in which we interact with the world around us. Remember, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, what matters most is understanding and embracing who you are.